Tonight I want to talk to you about the distinction between austerity versus actual investment in the American people. Now, we've had this debate in Washington for long enough where we've debated against why cuts are the way and why we got to just cut our way to success and we got to cut our way to prosperity. And I got to tell you, America, I fundamentally disagree with this whole ideal of austerity. And let me tell you the couple reasons why I disagree with austerity. One reason why I disagree with austerity is an argument that we've already heard. And that argument is we've seen Europe take this austerity measure. They were going to cut their way out of the recession, and that just didn't work. The second reason is economic theory tells us that when the government invests money in the country or in public works projects or in transportation, you create jobs, and those jobs, have the effect of the money multiplier, meaning every dollar you put in, you get a couple dollars out. I've talked about this from time and time again. I talk about it all the time. It's a well-known economic theory. But the third reason why I have a problem with the austerity principle and the austerity message is because I find it to be completely and totally nonsensical. So you say, okay, we're going to slash the budget. We're going to cut all these programs. We're going to take all Americans off the tit, which is what Paul Ryan talks about. And when we do that, we're going to solve all of America's problems, right? We're going to get rid of all the problems, all the woes, everybody's going to have a job. All this stuff is going to work, blah, 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 blah. Right? But that just doesn't make any sense to me. So the Republican Party and Paul Ryan, they haven't told us the vehicle in which these cuts are going to help middle class and working class families. All they say is going to provide prosperity, but they don't give you a pathway like they quote unquote say to prosperity. Never. They ever say, okay, when we cut these taxes for the millionaires and billionaires, this is how it's going to affect people. They say, well, corporations are going to hire. My question is, why aren't they hiring now? They have millions and millions of dollars in the bank in profit. Wall Street, it's at an all-time high. It's been a bull market for almost 2 weeks running. And we've not seen them create this wealth of bountiful of jobs in middle class and working class families. Don't get me wrong. We've seen them create jobs. We've seen the economy turn around. But we haven't seen, all these things that they profess to be. The money's there, America. The surplus is there. They're not hiring hand over fist. And then the Republicans will say to you, well, the reason why they're not hiring hand over fist is because they're not sure what the new tax laws are going to be. You're right. They don't know what the new tax laws are going to be because you guys haven't given them clear tax laws. Either way, when you look at this Paul Ryan budget and you look at the fact that they slash student aid, they keep Pell Grants at the current levels for the next 10 years. You hear me? They keep Pell Grants at the current level for the next 10 years. So Pell Grants stay the same, like this, and college tuition continues to go like this, right? What happens? Pell Grants stay stable, straight line economically. College tuition, upward sloping line. That means the people that depend on the Pell Grant, right? Basically what they do economically is they create an artificial ceiling for the amount of money you need to go to college. I take that back, the lack thereof to go to college. Because if you can only get $4,000 a year to go to college, and college costs $10,000 a year, and $4,000 is all you get, you have a $6,000 deficit. And if you don't qualify for the loan program, or your parents can't co-sign for you, you have now been ceilinged out of going to college. You can't pass go. You can't collect $200. Now, quote unquote, this is supposed to help the next generation. In my mind, it only helps those individuals in the next generation that can afford to go to college and that don't qualify for the Pell Grant. The whole idea of the Pell Grant was to make it so that middle class and working class families had a chance to get themselves out of poverty and the chance for upward mobility. They have taken that chance away when they create this artificial ceiling. And they think that's a good ideal. They think that's going to grow the economy. You tell me, when you see China, you see India, you see all the developing countries investing billions and billions and billions of dollars into their students, billions of dollars. They will pay for the students to come to America and learn, to go back to their country. And us here in America, we think it is too much. $4,000 for poor students is just too much. Too much for us to give them. Just a little bit too much. But we can give trillions away to millionaires and billionaires, insurance companies, oil companies, yacht makers, plane makers. Give them all they want. Prescription drug companies, defense contractors. We could give them millions of dollars out of the American coffers. But God forbid we give a student $4,000 for the next 10 years. That's too much, America. Too much of an investment. Too much resources wasted. Too much being on the government tit. Well, I got news for you, Paul Ryan. Your plan will stifle many students just like you. You think you're creating your policy to hurt black people and brown people and poor people, but the policy you're creating hurts middle-class families right there in your own district. To be frank, the policies you're creating would hurt the future John Boehner, because that person wouldn't have a chance to go to college or to go to university. You see what I'm saying here, America? They are creating a policy purposely in their quote unquote austerity to keep the little guy down. It doesn't matter if the little guy's Latino. It doesn't matter if the little guy's black. It doesn't matter if the little guy's white. It doesn't matter if he's red, orange, tan, Asian, yellow, blue, green, teal, or turquoise. They want to do everything possible to keep the little guy down so the richer can continue to get rich while the poor stay poor.